Wednesday will mark the 45th time that the presidency has been handed from one man to another. But thanks to one of those men, this will be a transition unlike any other we've seen before. Andrew's back now with what to expect.
Rich, Donald Trump has been president of the United States for the past 1,459 days, but he will spend just 2 more nights in the White House. As of this moment, Donald Trump has less than 42 hours left as president. He can still do anything any president is allowed to do, but no one thinks Trump has any serious governing left in him, so now we're on pardon watch. There are multiple reports of a big pardon dump coming tomorrow, around 100 pardons or more, but there are possible pardons that everybody's going to be keeping an eye out for. Will Trump pardon himself or his family? Pardoning his family, legal but odious. Doing so could cost him votes during his impeachment trial. No president has ever pardoned himself. If Trump does, it's a near lock to end up in court, but other pardon questions also remain. Will he pardon friends like Steve Bannon, currently under federal indictment? What about Rudy Giuliani, who certainly could be under indictment soon? Trump could also pardon riot participants, all of whom are facing federal charges, but doing so could cost Trump even more political support. All of that, from the moving to the pardons to short of possibly pardoning himself, fairly typical inauguration week stuff. But of course, this is no ordinary inauguration week. It will happen exactly 2 weeks after the riots at the Capitol that left 5 people dead and a nation on edge. So this inaugural will happen in a security bubble. 25,000 National Guardsmen and women in place for protection. By the way, security reviews are being done on some of them to check for any ties to white supremacy groups. But some things will not change, like the complete and total disregard for a peaceful and public transition of power. Not from the guy leaving the job. Donald Trump will not attend the inauguration. He'll leave D.C. at 8 a.m. Wednesday. He has not called Joe Biden, nor has Melania called Jill. No Oval Office meeting, no tours of the building, both traditions being shredded. Trump still wants a military send-off at Andrews, and they're trying to build a crowd to fawn over Trump's departure. Meanwhile, at precisely 12 noon on Wednesday, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. will start the oath of office and become the 46th president of the United States. He will immediately become the oldest president in American history. He'll then deliver his inaugural address and do some virtual events. He'll also begin to issue executive orders. Around 12 of them are set for day 1 on Wednesday, with several dozen more lined up by the end of the month. The first group of EOs will target Trump's orders and policies. Day 1, Biden will reverse the Trump Muslim ban, again allowing immigration from 5 Muslim-majority nations. He will sign an order re-entering the U.S. into the Paris Climate Accord, essentially agreeing to reduce our nation's carbon emissions. Biden will sign an order requiring masks to be worn on all federal property, including Congress and the White House. That order will also require masks for interstate travel, think on airplanes and Amtrak. Biden will extend the federal foreclosure and eviction ban, possibly until the very end of the pandemic. He'll also extend a moratorium on federal student loan payments until the pandemic ends. Later, Biden orders expected to include COVID testing, expanding that, help to speed the reopening of schools and businesses, additional COVID economic relief, criminal justice reform, climate change, immigration, as well as one to focus on and speed the reunions of families that have been separated at the border through Trump's immigration policies. Going from Trump to Biden will not be the only transition of power in D.C. this week. Wednesday or Thursday at the latest, we'll see a transition of power inside the U.S. Senate as Mitch McConnell becomes minority leader and Chuck Schumer takes over as majority leader. They and their 98 Senate colleagues will have a full slate of Biden nominees to confirm, many of whom are not well-known names among the wider public. There are about 36 top nominations and 1,200 in total that require Senate confirmation. But the Senate will also have an impeachment trial to deal with. President Trump was impeached by the House last week for a second and hopefully final time. Schumer and Senate Democrats will have to figure out how to hold that trial. Will it be the primary focus of the Senate all day, every day, or can they split time doing the trial and other work at the same time? It'll also depend on when House Speaker Nancy Pelosi transmits the articles of impeachment to the Senate. A delay would delay the start of Trump's Senate trial. And sometime later, probably weeks or even months later, the Biden Justice Department and Attorney General Merrick Garland will have to decide whether to criminally prosecute Donald John Trump for his role inciting the riot at the Capitol. Rich?
You know, I'm sorry. I know Biden probably doesn't really care, nor does the First Lady to be, but we can't even get norms on the way out. There's been no phone call, as you mentioned. Usually there's a sit down, there's a note that's left here, there's a tour of the White House. Not that Biden's have been in there before, I get all that. But the pettiness, the smallness, of things that were afforded to him 4 years ago, and then he's going to run away in the morning here, so he won't even be at the inauguration. It's just one more symbol in a million of them.
It robs Biden of a few nice moments and symbols of unity. If Biden and Trump are in the Oval Office together, that's a symbol of unity. What else does it show us? What a petty, sore loser, whining baby the outgoing president of the United States is. He's literally taking his ball and going home.
What's your sense? I know there seems to be a belief in terms of adjudicating an actual impeachment trial, but yet so much work. There is no cabinet yet for Biden, although it believes that he'll be ready to hit the ground running, so to speak here. Not too many controversial nominees that are up to be part of this cabinet. And we obviously talked about the makeup here with the new Senate and the tiebreaker being the vice president. But do you think they're going to split the day?
I think they will, and I think that's what happened during the Clinton impeachment trial. I think they bifurcated the day where they were able to do Senate work during part of it and then schedule the impeachment trial for another part of it. I think that's going to be the way it has to proceed. Look, I think 7 or 8 confirmation hearings are set to start tomorrow in the Senate, but it's hard to get them wrapped up within a day, and the full Senate has to vote on them anyhow. So he is going to start hamstrung a little bit without key cabinet members who just about every president has when they walk in the door.
We expect, as Andrew said, as many as 100 pardons tomorrow. There's already a lot of reporting that the pardons apparently came along with a price tag, literally people enriching themselves by who's going to be able to get a pardon, by how much they contributed to what.
That should be investigated.
Yeah, exactly. But obviously, how many Trumps will be on that list, and how many people that are in those inner circles, with a stench of corruption attached, will also get one? I think people will be surprised. Trump is always in it for himself, and rewarding other people with pardons if he's not getting one, I don't know how easy that's going to be for him to do.
I'd be surprised if Bannon, Giuliani, and Trump's family didn't all get pardons. About 50-50 on whether he pardons himself.
All right, Andrew, thank you. When we come back, how we the people feel about our outgoing president and his role in the Capitol Hill riot, whether he should ever be able to run again, and also how Trump's approval rating compares to other presidents. A hint? Not good.